I do think it's one of the things about being a police officer, similar to being a soldier, is that there's this, and you really see this, I think, in the film, the bonds that develop between officers. I mean, it's a bond unlike any other.
Yeah, and it was essential. This movie, I mean, we've seen the cop movie genre so many times, and
right.
the thing that I think separates this movie from other cop movie genres is the relationship between the two partners. You know, it's their friendship, and Michael and I spent those 5 months in the back of a cop car together doing tactical training. We did lineman ammunition training. We did fight training every morning, you know, 5 times a week with these boys in Echo Park at David Ayer, our writer-director's best friend's dojo, where they basically beat us up every morning.
So you could, like, kick my ass right now, is what you're saying. Is that what you're saying? Are you threatening me?
No,
Are you subtly threatening me? Are you trying to intimidate me?
Or I could take a good beating.
Oh,
That's one or the other.
Yeah.
Yes. But no,
I run very well. I run away from things very well. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, if we needed to get in a fight, I could probably get into a fight, but hopefully we won't have to do that.
I'm hoping it won't come to that. I mean, one of the things I always found, you know, going out doing combat reporting overseas is it makes regular life seem very dull. And when I've gone for ride-alongs a lot with police, particularly in LA, and it's such a heightened state that you're in that your regular life, when you're not in the car, you're not on patrol, regular life just seems kind of dull.
Yeah, and also, you know, your real job ends up seeming so absurd.
Right, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the bottom line, is that, you know, you're in a situation, you think to yourself, like, I'm just an actor, you know, and I'm gonna try and fake this, essentially. But yeah, when you go back home, I mean, I remember a number of nights coming back home, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., sun's rising, and going back into my bed and taking 2 or 3 hours to get to bed and thinking, like, this is what every police officer goes through, you know, when they're doing that shift every single morning, you know?
You're not going to become like Steven Seagal, lawman, and get your own show where you actually become a police officer. Because somehow he is actually a police officer in Louisiana.
Is he?
But yeah, he is.
You know what? I'm not going to never say never.
Never say never.
You know what I mean?
It's funny, I was actually, during Hurricane Katrina, I was in Louisiana a lot, and one day I see Steven Seagal in a cop uniform driving by. This is before he had the show. And I stopped him. I stopped him. I was like, Steven Seagal, what are you doing here? And literally he said to me, he said, I'm not even here, man. I'm just doing the work. I was like, what? It's the weirdest thing. Yeah.
That may be the best story I've ever heard.
And then when he left, he did this, of course. A little, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Not a lot of New Orleans cops do that, by the way.
The Buddhist bow, yeah.